Hey guys, Sovereign Jane Jenkins here, and I'm the author of P Policy. It's about setting boundaries and maintaining self respect. It's a self help book to elevate the consciousness of young women in society. It is on Amazon, Kindle, and other online platforms. Check it out. And today I want to talk about healing is having the hard conversations. It's not about being knee deep in religion. It's not about going to get revenge. It's not about blaming the people that cause you pain. It starts with having those hard conversations. Okay? Even if it's just with somebody else who wasn't the cause of the pain, you just need to start and acknowledge the fact that you're not okay. Let's get into it. Healing is admitting to the fact that you don't find men attractive because of the things you've seen them do growing up. Step in the right direction, right? Healing is acknowledging the fact that you know your mother does not accept you because you do not find men attractive because of religious purposes, and they shun all women who refuse to date men. So a lot of women choose not to date at all. Problem solved. Healing is talking about that uncle that touched you when you were young and forever changed your life, because now you have those thoughts, and those obsessive thoughts cannot be solved by one therapy session. And the problem is, in a black household, you don't even get the therapy session. You just get what happens in this house stays in this house. Healing is admitting to the fact that you were the direct cause of someone else's pain, and you know you were, and you have yet to apologize. So therefore you walk around with this internal sense of guilt, but your pride won't let you admit it to that person. Healing is acknowledging the fact that you fell in love with a married man and you don't know how to handle those feelings, so you just feel guilty, even though that wasn't the plan. But everybody falls to something. This life is going to tempt you and test you. But once you start admitting to that, you can get out of it because you already started the first step. Healing is looking your father in the face and telling him that you remember what everything that he did to your mother when you were there in the physical sense. All the abuse, all the manipulative tactics, all the disgusting comments, everything that was said, and finally addressing that person head on and saying that because of that, I will never not have a guard around you, because you have shown that you cannot be trusted with the internal pieces of my heart. Healing is walking up to that cousin at the family function and reminding them that they forever changed the course of your life because they touched you inappropriately when you were 4, 5, 6 years old. And you have to deal with the pain of that for the rest of your life. But first off, you have to address that it happened, right? Because you're sick of living your life in the dark. Healing is writing a whole book about things that happen in your familial situation and expecting people to just accept it because this was your version of the truth. Because the truth is depending on whoever's writing the story. So once you're able to put what you experienced out in the world on paper, that changes the whole game, because now you have started the process of releasing. Healing is acknowledging the fact that you hated one of your parents for a long time and it took you a while to get to the point of forgiveness. And even after you get to that point of forgiveness, you realize that the relationship can never quite be the same. It's not going to be healthy. It's not going to be fixed because of the guards still being sky high. And that parent not acknowledging the fact that they directly contributed to those guards being high. Healing is acknowledging all of the things that contributed to the person that you are today, whether that's good or bad. But you can also say, I'm here because of this, and I'm not going to let it break me. Okay? You're learning the lesson, and you're standing tall despite the situations. Healing is acknowledging the fact that your family will never truly accept you for who you are at your core. They will simply ignore the fact that you are who you are, but at the same time put up a front and try to twist the situation in their heads as if you're not who you are. It's like they're fighting their own internal opinions and facts of you in order to accept you. And you see a lot of this in the religious sector when it comes to bisexualism and gays. Healing is acknowledging the fact that you're not okay with somebody who hurt somebody else, and you literally watch them tear the family apart because they wanted to be selfish. And you think that what you do is not going to come back on you years down the line. You're wrong. Somebody's always there watching. You never know when it's going to end up in a story. Healing is addressing the fact that you're not going to forgive someone. And you're not going to forgive them because you know that you forget nothing. And since you forget nothing, you don't feel the need to absolve that person of those feelings that you feel when you hear their name or you see them, to make them comfortable. Because the truth is, you will never be comfortable around them. And people like to argue that forgiveness is for you. I would beg to differ. Forgiveness is for that other person, to make that other person feel comfortable. Because I'm okay in a state of unforgiveness. Sometimes a simple is the best response you can give somebody, especially if they broke you down and hurt you very badly. That's healing. That's honesty. That's real. Sometimes you can't get forgiveness, especially because that person is religious. You think you're automatically entitled to forgiveness? Not at all. Sometimes forgiveness cannot be gotten. And let's be honest, sometimes we don't care whether we're forgiven or not. Healing is choosing not to be around the people that traumatized you or triggered you in the past. Even if it is a parent, they're not entitled to your time, your essence, and your energy, especially if you know they're toxic. People seem to think that if they brought you into this world, that you owe them something, when that's not. Your allegiance is to yourself first, especially when you become of age and you're able to support yourself and feed yourself. So that's the misconception, especially if you were a less than decent parent. And that happens in so many households. You have to put in before you can get out. You have to sow seeds so you can see the outcomes down the roads that you planted in time, in the right seasons. Healing is acknowledging the fact that your father or your parent is the reason you and your siblings don't get along, because they always pitted you against each other instead of making you love each other and accept each other for who they are. And once that parent dies, you see the reverberations of those jealous seeds that parent put into each mind of each child. So addressing the fact that they are the direct cause of those feelings and that animosity, that's when your healing is starting to get deep. That's when you're addressing that pain in your soul, because you didn't cause that pain, someone else did, but you're acknowledging that it's there. Healing is crying. Healing is going to that place of feeling and accepting those feelings and feeling those emotions and feeling that depression and leaning into the pain instead of running away from it, because you're often delaying the healing process. Healing is looking in the mirror and acknowledging your shortcomings for what they are, and accepting the fact that you will never be perfect, and perfection should not be the expectation. Sovereign Jane Jenkins, check the book out, P Policy. As always, love always.